Hello. So next we are going to start with our another software which is Civil 3D. So before starting this software, I would like to make you understand like why Civil 3D is really important and what is Civil 3D is all about. That why do we need this in the industry and what is its importance, what is its like features and user interface. So kind of introduction. So when it comes to Autodesk Civil 3D, it is a software which is over Autodesk Map and AutoCAD also. So the operations or the things that you can perform in AutoCAD or Autodesk Map, you can do those things in Autodesk Civil 3D also, which gives an added advantages for this software. So as far as the introduction is required, it is quite similar. User interface is quite similar to the AutoCAD screen if you guys would have worked on or Autodesk Map. Since both the things can be performed in this software, so things are similar. This is our quick access toolbar. That is better that if I'll open any of a drawing, let's say a new drawing. If in order to start a new drawing, you have to go to this new and create a new sheet, or you can browse from templates as well. So these are your home screen when you will open your Civil 3D. This is the uh, screen that you're going to see. So here are the recent files that you would have lastly opened, because we have seen here that we are right now at recent, and if you're anyhow linked to your 360 account, which is BIM 360, so all the files will be appearing here. Autodesk desktop connector is not installed, so it cannot show the projects which are uploaded in in BIM 360 projects. Then learning. Autodesk itself has provided certain learning material which are quite self-explanatory videos. I would recommend you to not just the videos that we are providing, I would recommend you to go through these videos in order to have the clear insights like what are the alignment and profile, what are the surfaces. Though anyway we are going to discuss the same thing, so it is your call whether you want to go with that or not. So there are certain learning videos, and then these are the supports, which what's new in the software: online help, community forum, which is Autodesk 3 Civil 3D forum, and customer support. So that is quite like enough for the introduction of the home screen. Then let's say if you are going for the any new drawing. In order to create a new drawing, either you can directly click on this plus icon, or you can go for here and you can go for new sheet. So begins, set example sheet, create a new sheet, confirm an example sheet or existing drawing. So go with the example sheet and the architecture interior sheet or architecture metric sheet, whichever unit you are familiar with, or if you want to go with civil interior or civil metric. So I'm going with civil metric. And the name of the sheet that you want to give, let's say trial sheet. Use a civil metrics sheet set to create a new sheet with the default size of this mm. So you can give your separate descriptions for that, and then go next. The trial sheet will be having the grading plans, utility plans, roadway plans, and profile, drainage, and sanitary sewers. These are the details about it, like what are the set previews, new subsets. We'll come to this point. I mean, these things will be discussed in the course later. Once it is done, do refresh, and your sheet has been created with the name and all the grading utilities. These things are the part of your sheet set manager, which I'm going to discuss further. So for now, let it be. So you can see here that it is the data set manager that you or sheet that you prepare. It is the extension of .dst. You can keep it or you can uncheck it, or you can open it right here. And when you want to go with a new point, you can click on this plus. So you will go through, I mean, the screen that you're going to see, you will be referred to the new home screen, which is it is going to be a start drawing screen, which you see in your AutoCAD as well. So you will notice here that most of the things are quite similar as AutoCAD, like model, certain layouts are there, grid lines, coordinate system, ortho, polar tracking, and this isometric, auto snap, snap, 2D reference snap, annotation objects, and other stuff. Most of the things are quite similar to it. The things that you're going to see here is that home screen is quite different, and there are certain more tools at the right side, and the tool space, if you go to home screen, you will see that it's not at all looking like AutoCAD at all. So we'll come to this point in some time. Before that, this is your application menu, in which you will find new, open, save as. These are the same facilities that you're having in your software, other softwares as well of Autodesk. Like you can create a new drawing, you can open your drawing, you can save as it, you can export it like DWF, DWFX, 3D DWF, and export civil 3D drawings, DXF, PDF, and much more, IFC and other formats. You can publish your data like send to 3D print surveys, archive, e-transmit, email, and share view. The share view facility we are having in the InfraWorks also. So in this case, only certain view of that upload, it is a kind of view that you are going to share online. It is not a model. So in print, you can print it like 3D print, page setup, view plot, and publish detail. These things will be coming, and it is quite self-explanatory. You can explore them by your own as well. Then there comes the drawing utilities, in which drawing properties are there, DWG compare is there, drawing settings are there. I would like to make you a note here, like drawing settings and drawing properties are not similar. I'll explain this thing, and these units and these things are also different. In Civil 3D, it is like more elaborative units that you are going to define, be it feature units, be it, or not units actually, settings, more detail or explanatory settings you will be defining, like be it ambient settings, be it feature setting, or be it drawing settings. So there are different types of settings that you will have to adjust, and there are several more, and then you can close your file. So this is same. And then on the top we are having our quick access toolbar, in which all the things that you're getting in your application menu you will find right here as well, like open new, create new, open, save as. You can add and adjust it with the options that are available right here. Like whatever the things are not available here, you can check it here, like match property command also, so it will be coming here. If you don't want, you can uncheck it. And this is the workspace gear which we are having in AutoCAD as well. If you remember, like there are data drafting and annotation view, 3D basic, 3D advanced view is there. Same things you will be finding here, like Civil 3D, drafting, annotation, 3D modeling, planning, and analysis. So if you want to work in AutoCAD, you do not have to open the AutoCAD screen. You can directly switch the elements from right here, and now you will notice that the ribbon bar seems quite similar to AutoCAD, and it is very familiar, and it is a ribbon bar that we all are very familiar with. So to have the Civil 3D knowledge, I would recommend you to have the basic knowledge of AutoCAD first, so that you can understand the basic commands. So because I'm not going to discuss like what is the line command, what is polyline, circle, and how to draw the objects in it. So it will be like further step towards the more civil engineering field. So that is correct that Civil 3D is solely made for civil engineers for like bigger scale projects, be it infrastructure, or be it is sole purpose is for infrastructure like roads, bridge, railways, mainly the grading and the surface gradient at which you are going to work. So it is quite necessary to understand first like the basics of AutoCAD, so that you know how to draw the object, how to export, and how to print the sheets, how to create viewports and other stuff, so that you can understand these things quite well. So in quick access toolbar, as I mentioned, that you can add several points. If you want to add more commands, you can go to the more command option, and there are the several list of commands that you want to you can add in your quick access toolbar. Okay, and if you don't want your workspace to be here, because anyway it is available in the access tools right here, so I'm not going to keep it, I'm just unchecking it. Right, after that your home screen is like quite not very similar to AutoCAD. There are certain palettes in which there are tool spaces there, and create ground data in which point surface and traverse are there. You can import the survey data collection links are there. So in create and design, you're having all the parts. These are all the things that you have discussed in InfraWorks, like a parcel feature in which we were creating a boundary of the surface, and then we were like, if you remember, we were defining the coverage as a type or a parcel. So parcel will be just the outline for the coverage, and if you're taking the surface as coverage, it will cover that area, right? So there are different types of parcel are there. Parcel create tools, create parcel from object, or create right of way. So these things will be coming in the more detail. There are certain more features in it, like create figure and object, create a subassembly polyline from a polyline, create polyline from corridor, create boundary from corridor, set pressure network catalog, map drainage structure parameter, and number of things. There are profile and selection views are there, in which you can select the certain profiles of the objects or the drawing that it will be opened here. You can draw the element. These are quite similar to your AutoCAD commands, because these are the drawing commands. Drawing commands are similar in AutoCAD as well as in Civil 3D also, because Civil 3D works over AutoCAD itself. Layer properties are also quite similar to it. It's just that it will be having certain more defined layers you will have to work with. Modify tools are also same as AutoCAD, and these things are also same. Clipboard. And insert, there will be different types of data that you can add to your Civil, because Civil 3D is like more into exploration of like Earth geosurface at like at any surface. If you're going to create anything, you can create your geological data in it. Okay, and that can be connected to your ArcGIS, which is another cloud-based platform for which you will have to create your account, and there is a trial available for 14 or 15 days. You can import the storm sewer, land desktop, land XML, point from file. All these things are really interesting, and in annotate tab the things are quite same. And in modify, there's elevation edit. There are elevation editor, insert elevation point, delete elevation point, and anything related to corridor or design, you can change it through modify. There are several things are available. Ground data, you can edit or modify point surface or surface query. If you have to modify point by any chance or surface by any chance, you can go to modify and select it. But in order to change these, you need to have certain things here in order to change that. Okay. Then there is the main thing which is here, that is the tool space. You will see here that the main thing that you are getting in which is quite different from AutoCAD, is there's this tool space that you are seeing. If it is not visible in your screen, you can just uncheck or check it so that it will be visible. And this tool space is having 4 things, which is prospector, settings, survey, and toolbox. So prospector is like, why do we use prospectus in our colleges or in any industry? So whenever we are going to apply for like if you are going to buy a house, we ask for their prospectus, right? So all the details regarding the project, or like it is a kind of project browser like your Revit. So it is a prospectus about your project. Okay, so there are active drawing views. There are master view and active drawing view, which means there can be a master plan of the complete project. Like if you remember in InfraWorks, there were different proposals. So similarly in Civil 3D, there might be different proposals are there. One can be master plan, another one can be active drawing view in which you are working right now. So there are chances that that active view is linked to some master plan or master view. Okay, so in that there is drawing 2 name is coming, in which anything related to like point group, surface, alignment, feature lines, and all these things are there. Different types of alignments, pipe networks, assemblies. Okay, then in settings there are different types of settings that we are having. For that I would like to open a file here, which is going to be exercise file again. So you can see here that we are having a kind of surface which is having certain grades and corridors, right? Their elevation has been shown here. There's their profile view, if you remember the profile analysis that we were having. Right, profile view of Oscilla cloth. This is a name that has been given to some road or pavement. This is another profile view of Omega Way. There is profile view of same Osceola Road from this elevation to this. Same profile view of Alpha Lane. So there are different types of lanes that we are having. So it's just like they have given different names to it. There are different grading, like this topo surface we are having. Certain gradings we are having here. And then certain details we are having. Right, and you will observe here that there are different number of layers are available, in which that certain layers are freeze. The concepts are same like AutoCAD. If you are freezing it, if you are turning it off, if you are locking that. So I would recommend you to have these things, like I do not have to explain again because this same as AutoCAD. So I would suggest you to have the basic knowledge of AutoCAD first before starting Civil 3D. So if anyhow if you're not finding this prospector setting and survey or toolbox, you can just these four are the elements which are shown here. So these are your drawing settings. Sorry, these are prospector in which the drawing settings are there. Anything related to the active view, you will find the details here. Then there are settings, there are survey, and there are your toolbox. So I was explaining about like these four things are available right here, and if you want to turn off everything at once, you can uncheck the tool space right here. Apart from that, in settings there are different types of settings that I was telling earlier, like there are ambient settings, feature setting, and drawing settings. So anything related to drawing settings you are seeing here are related to drawing settings as well itself. So the things which are mentioned here, like tool space, wait, I think I opened the wrong file. Yeah, so you can see here that anything in the drawing opened here are related to the drawing settings. But within those, if I'll drop down these arrows, and there are master view, active drawing settings view, and active drawing label only view, and labels only. So there are certain labels that you will have to define. There will be different uh, scale and labels you will have to define. So these things will be coming time to time. So anything related to settings, if you'll right click here, there is the option right here, edit drawing settings. The things that I'm telling, that why do we have to define everything like in very details, like feature settings or ambient settings, that I'm going to explain now. So if you'll open it, the things are quite similar to AutoCAD. If you remember, there are drawing units, feet or meters. If you want to work in, you can choose. But in AutoCAD, you were having like decimal, engineering, scientific, and other stuff. The angular units were similar. Scale you can change or choose right here. There are zone categories. You can define different zones if you're as per your project suitability. Like if it is India, then coordinate system. What are different coordinate system you are going to use? It will be given by the surveyor who is going to survey that project. By default, it will be Gulshan 303.ll. All right, transformation, anything related to zone, you can give the zone description here, and there are transformation settings comes when you're the things that has been surveyed. If you are transforming those input, there are different object layers are there. If you'll see, there are different types of layers. You can alter it, or you can modify it. Like modifier is none, but you can change it to prefix and suffix here. You can choose different layer for it, like all the defined layers are there. Usually what happens when you start working with a company in which Civil 3D is being utilized, so you already get all the settings which are quite set, which would have been set by the person who is working before you. So already company provide all the defined settings for their specification and their kind of project that they are working with. But in case if you're going to create it your own, you can do that too. Autodesk Civil 3D provide different various templates from the for the student version and your licensed version too, so that you can take the help of it, and you can create different layers and properties on your own. So you will see here that within your drawing settings, there are different ambient settings are there. And ambient settings, I mean to like anything which are mentioned here may further be defined to other settings also. Like if I'll open up any of the, let's say gray, so you can change the value of it, precision, you can change the precision value, you can change the rounding value, you can format the percent or decimal per mile, or you can change the sign as well. You can take anything, let's say distance, in distance unit is foot, precision 2, sign in red. These things will similar. All right, so you can define, even though the drawing units are working in meter, if you'll see that, okay, if I make it into feet, into meter, ambient settings will still remain in feet. So for the particular element, if you want to, like it is not like AutoCAD. If you are defining the drawing units at once, and your complete complete project will be working in the same unit. For different types of instances and types, you can define different units also, and within those units also you can further subdivide those units into something else. Like you will see here, this arrow is being shown here, which is child override, which means we are not done here yet. Even though you are choosing here precision value to 2, there are certain in future, there are chances that in the feature settings some other value would have been defined to it. Okay, so that is what I was saying. So we'll go to feature settings now. So this is the overall drawing settings are there, but if you'll open, let's say point, and in commands you will find all the commands are going to be utilized for this, to create a point or to add a point. So if I right click here, if I right click on my point, there is an option is coming, edit feature settings or edit label style default. So I'll go for feature settings. So it's kind of similar, ambient settings dialog box will appear, and in that you can see, like if I'll open up the distance, So the value you will see here that in this distance there is no child override, which is because feature settings are the lowest level of the settings that you are defining. Okay, ambient settings is kind of a step above feature settings, and the drawing setting is at the top level. So the overchild sign that was shown in ambient settings was the symbol, or was the notation to tell the user, like, there are chances that certain different units would have been defined to the feature settings. So in case, if suppose if you're in your ambient settings for distance, you have defined it as precision level 4, but in feature setting precision level is still 2. So there are chances that in your drawing your distance decimal precision will be coming just 2 decimal places. So you will not be getting, you do not have to worry about it, like why it is happening. You just have to check your ambient settings and feature settings are mapping with each other or not. Okay, so the interviewer may also ask, like, what is the lowest level of settings we are getting in Civil 3D? So that is feature settings that you define at the lowest level. All right. After that, you will see here that there are certain new tools that are available right here, which we call transparent tool. If I'll hover my cursor right here, you will see that it will show me. Like, you can read that it is transparent. The people who are using lower version than 2020, they might not be having this transparent tab. But after 2020, they have added all the tools in a ribbon bar itself, which is in transparent. So all the tools which are listed here, you will find right here as well, like profile or plan or point and point filter. So all the things are here as well. Okay, the only thing that I would like to mention here, transparent commands are the commands that can be called within a parent command. Suppose if I'm creating a line and I want to use already I'm in a command of line, then only I can go for the transparent command. I cannot go for, like, if I'm not in any of the command, I'll press escape and I'll choose it, let's say station elevation. I cannot select anything, right? Because it doesn't work in outside of the command. So let's say if I'm in L and I'm in a line command, L enter, and then I'll go for let's say spot elevation, then I can select the lines. Now you will see here that PSE is asking specify the station. So let's say I define my station right here, station 300. Specify elevation. So we'll see here that the elevation has been created, the line has been created from 300 elevation. So that is the reason that in order to create in order to use the transparent command, you need to have the parent command working first. I'll discuss further more about these things. Before that, the things that I wanted to explain is, which is the survey. Anything, the survey database that you are having in your company or in your project, you can load those things right here. Like there is survey database, equipment database, figure prefix database, you can and line code set. In toolbox is like anything for repair or generate the report, or miscellaneous utilities are there. You can expand them, like anything you will have to prepare the report, or the report has, if the report has already been prepared, if you have to manage it, like in terms of alignment, corridor and other stuff, you can change or modify it right here. In miscellaneous utilities, there is report, coordinate, geometry, export KML, parcels, surveys, surfaces, and CAICE translator, which I have not used yet. Yeah, so let's come back to the transparent commands, like how can it be utilized within the command. In order to use that, let's say I'm in a line command, and if I choose in transparent spot station elevation, so in that sense I'm telling my software that I'm going to select a profile within which I will be working with certain elevation points. So in that reference, the profile that I'm selecting, I will have to define the elevation with reference to that profile, not the Autodesk screen coordinates. So let's say I chose this profile, and in that you will see that the coordinates are going from 0 to 100, 200. By the way, 2 plus 0 0 means it is 200, 3 plus 0 0 300, and if it is 2 plus 86, which means 286. Okay, so I felt like I should tell this in order to read these coordinates properly. Okay, so now it is asking me to define the specify station. Please specify station. So I'm defining it, let's say, or I can pick also, like wherever I want to click, I can choose the station as well. So I'm pressing 300. Now it is asking me to define. You can see here that my 300 line has been chosen. If you can see on your screen right here, right? Now I have to choose the horizontal coordinate. Y-axis I have chosen elevation view, elevation point. Now X elevation point I have to choose. So let's say 260 for example. (260) enter, and then enter. So you will see here that you are going to your line is appearing from the coordinates that you have chosen. If you'll see, this point is 260 and your coordinate is 300. Okay, so that is how we can use the transparent command. Like, you can create directly also line, no issue, but in order to use transparent command with spot elevations or station elevations, you have to choose the transparent commands. All right, after that there are certain inquiry tools are there, which you will find in analyze tab. You will see here that there are different types of analysis things are there, like visibility checks, point to point or zone or visual zone of visual influence, or check site distance, which we are having in InfraWork as well, if you remember. There are volumes and dashboard grading volume tools. These things will come later. In inquiry tool, let's say I open my inquiry tool. You can see here that select an inquiry type. What type of inquiry do you want? So please select inquiry type. Suppose if you want to inquiry for the surface, okay, or if you want to inquiry about profile view, then you will have to select the profile view. So I'm going with the surface this time, and let's say surface elevation grade. I'll just make it a little big. So surface elevation and grade at point. Okay, so I'm choosing this. So there are the surface that has been used in this project are composite, EG, no FG, and Osceola road. So let's say I'm going to take Osceola road. Press OK. Now we'll see here that it is showing me the style name, label, layer name, and surface name. Surface name is Osceola road. Alright, but it is not showing me any coordinate, point elevation, grade percentage, slope, or anything. In order to do that, I have to select the Osceola road. Where is that exactly? Okay, so let's say if I choose my point right here, you will see that all the data and everything has been filled here. Okay, so that is our Osceola road, by the way. So you will see here that the X and Y coordinates has been filled. Point elevation is 253 at this point, and the grade is grade percentage is 12.13%, slope is 8.24 to 1, grade is 0.121, and slope direction is north this much and west. Okay, so that is how you can inquiry for a point or the surface as well. The profile, whatever things that you are selecting, you can inquiry for that, like what are the specifications or details if you want to know, like that. Next we will be moving towards like how to create a point, and for that I'll open a very new sheet. So in this sheet I have prepared a simple line with a line command, and we are going to add certain point. Before moving towards the point, we need to understand like what is point exactly is. So a point is a zero-dimensional figure which is not having any volume or any area, which doesn't occupy any space. And to be the physical quantum and physical quantum physics, it challenges the point, like if a point is existing in the environment, then how does it not able to occupy a space or not having a volume? So that's still a question, but it does have zero. I mean, it is a single point which is not having any dimension, which is the element of zero dimension. So since it is the element of zero dimension, it cannot be seen in any other axis except origin. So if it is a point, which means it can work as an origin for any other axis, be it x, y, or z, and their replica are in negative direction. So that is the point, and the line is a combination of all the points in any dimension or in any direction. So that is basic geometry. So how to add the points in that? You will see that in your home tab there are options here, points. So if you drop down this arrow, there are so many ways by which you can create the point. Like there are n number of things which you can work with, but we are going with the very basic inputs, like how to create a basic point manually first. Then these things will be understood by you easily. So go with point creation tool, and it will open up a dialog box in which there's so many, all the options which are available right here. You will find all the options here as well. And if you want to export or import, all right. Before that, you need to know that what are the create point parameters are there. So if you will see here that you can define certain parameters and their values to the points that you are going to define. So if you go to default layer, so you will see that right now it is using use current. You can add different layer which you want them to use, like these are the already by default create layers that you will find in Civil 3D. So you can choose that. Apart from that, there are point creation geometry, in which their local coordinates is defined, which is northing, easting, which means whenever you are placing a point in Civil 3D, it will tell you like what is their northing and easting, and grid coordinates as well with respect to their grid northing and grid easting, graphic coordinates, longitude and latitudes, and prompt for elevation is automatic, which means you can choose it to manual also, or none, which means like if whenever you are placing a coordinate, if you are choosing automatic, then whatever the default elevation you have taken here will be given to that point. And whenever you are creating a point manually, the command bar will not ask you to specify the elevation, because here the prompt for elevation is automatic, and which is set to 100 feet. So whenever you are going to create a point with a prompt for elevation is set as automatic, it will automatically assign it to 100 feet elevation. Okay. Same for prompt for description. If it is set to automatic, which I have already set here, FH, which is fire hydrant. So we are going to place a point for fire hydrant here. So the command bar will not ask you to define the description for that point. It will automatically be set as FH. if it has not, if it's set to manual, let's say if we are defining it as manual, then when we are placing a point, after placing a point, the command bar will ask us to define the description for it. So whatever you want, you can define it. Instead of fh, if you want something else, you can, like fire hydrant, if you want fhy or fhyd, you can define those as well. Okay. Apart from that, there are different default styles like point. I would suggest you to keep it none for now so that you can understand the further process that I'm going to tell later on. So these things are fine. After that, I'm going to prepare the point manually. So click on manual, point 1 and point. Oh, see, I think we made a point with, see, you can see here that it is asking me to define this description to it. So I'll just see it. You can see here that description is set to manual. So if it had been given as automatic, it wouldn't have asked me this question. So just drop it, go for manual. So when I'll place it now, you will see here that automatically elevation has been given and FH has also been given. While in the previous case, it was asking me to define the description for that, right? Similarly, so this is our point 1 and this is our point 2. So description is same, which means both are fire hydrants. Now what I'm gonna do, our point is create, press escape twice so that you will come out of the command. Select your point, you will observe, or you can right click to open the properties for that. Open the properties, or either you can go from here, or when you will select any point, you will find that there in general tool there is a property option. So I'll just, for the entire video, I will hold my property browser right here. So in that you can see here that by default we didn't define any style to this point. So you can see here that right now it is also coming as default. So for now, if we had defined this style previously in the parameters, then it would have taken directly here, like, which is point style or point label style, right? But you can choose it from here also. So what happens after creating the points, if you are choosing style, that style will be created to that particular point as well. So if I'm choosing it like utility water hydrant, here it is, you will see here that only this point has been changed into the fire hydrant, but this point is still, if I select this, it will be coming as style varies, which means the similar point to this has been assigned to some different property, but not this. If you had chosen the fire hydrant style for the point before creating the point, it would have directly provided this fire hydrant like this at both the places. Alright, so you can choose the same thing here as well. Right, then comes the point label style. In this point label style, you can choose like you want just what are the things do you want to see? You want just description, you want elevation number, or not? You can go with nothing anything as well. So we'll see here that nothing anything is being shown. If you don't want that, then just go for just elevation or just description, or like go with default. So it will be coming like this. Okay. One more thing, like if there are any predefined description that has been given to the style and label style, it can be applied to the points which have been created after the description has been defined. So for those points, we'll come to that. I mean, we'll come to these points in some time. Before that, if you'll hover your cursor over this, you will see that there is the option for move point, rotate label and marker, and rotate marker. So you can move this point with the move option. You can rotate the label and marker, which are these, and you can rotate the marker in the direction wherever you want to keep it, or you can press Ctrl and right click, go for select nearest, so that you can find the, where is nearest it is. So you'll find the nearest intersection point. Similarly for this, Control and right click, nearest, or we can define 25 because there is no line exceeding to that. Yeah. All right, so you will see here that if I select one point, it is a part of no group. But if you go to your prospector tab in this, you will find that under the point group, there is all points are coming, which means that all the points that you are going to create in your drawing will be coming under all point group. But if you want these 2 points to be as separate group, which is a part of fire hydrant, you can apply that, you can create that too as well. If I click on this, you will see that there will be all the details for these 2 points will be shown. Okay, like what is their northing easting, what is their spot elevation or point elevation, what is their full description, FH, their east gridding, and their rotate marker and other stuff. But before that, there is some one more grip which is available here. So if you hover your cursor over this, you can move the label or rotate label or toggle sub item grip. So let's say if you are going to move it, we can place it somewhere else, like here. And this sign which is coming here plus, it is for leader. You can see here it is option. This option is coming, add leader vertex. And again there are move leader vertex options are coming, so you can add it. If you click on this, it will add a leader. I'll keep it like this only. Yeah, so how can we create the another group for the object this hydrant that we have created? So in order to create the so since we are going to prepare a group, I'll set their style as by default only. So because if we do not have to provide this fire hydrant simultaneously, because first we are defining a group, and then once we are done with the group, to that group we will define this property that these points are going to be part of fire hydrant. So since these points are the part of that group, it will automatically be defined to the style and label style that we are going to define. So I'll just make it as default, or I can do undo as well the thing that I did. So default. All right, so you can see here that in point groups there is an option which is properties. So you will see here that all the properties related to the point group, it will be mentioned here that what is the point style that is going to be. It is IM basic X, which means it can be any point, because since it is a part of all points group, okay, it is going to include anything, right? There's point label style, which is going to be involve point, elevation, and description. Okay, it includes like what are the, since it is a part of all point, there is not valid options are there that what other things will be included in it. It will be clear once we are going to define our own new group. So I'll just cancel it. We are going to define our own new. So you can define your new point group as well. So in order to define, let's say I'm defining it as fire hydrant. Description, you can add it here, and here I'm going to define the point style here, which is going to be utility water hydrant. All right, and in that label style I'm going to define point elevation and description. Okay, and in that you have to go to include that what are the points that you're going to include, and the simplest way to add all the kinds of points that you want to add in that group, you just go with the description with raw description matching FH and asterisk. Sorry, FH asterisk. You will see that I have put a asterisk after H, which means that whatever the elements are having FH as initial letters, it will be involved within this group. let's say there might be some other points which are having FH001, FH002, or FH Z axis, for example, FHZ01. So all the elements which are having FH as initial letter will be involved within that group. So we can filter these things with number matching, with elevation matching. So instead of raw description, you can add with elevation matching to 100 feet. So if I uncheck this and I check it, I can define it as 100 feet elevation. So that will also work, or this both will also work. So if all the points which are having 100 feet elevation plus the raw description as FH asterisk, so will be the part of this group. So this is the rule that we are defining. So I'll just delete it. I'm going with the raw description only. Or if you want to include, like in this, just a second, if in all point, if you go for properties, you will see that in this all include all points is mentioned, and you can't edit that. It is by default which you get from Autodesk Civil 3D. So similarly, if you are preparing another one the way we were doing, fire hydrant and utility water hydrant, yeah. So in case if I check these, all these become invalid. So I'm going to go with raw description, which is FH asterisk. And one more thing I would like to mention here, that this description that we are mentioning here is case sensitive. If you are putting any lowercase alphabet, it will work for lowercase alphabet. So make sure that you are putting exactly, make sure that you know what you are putting. So it will be helpful. And once you apply it, okay, you will see here that all the points has become the fire hydrant by default. And when you will go to this property, if you will see here that on the hierarchy of the point groups, your fire hydrant is coming up, which is the reason that you're able to see this fire hydrant in the place of points. Now imagine the situation in which even if you have created point groups, but still your point groups are not changed into the group that you have defined. Instead of fire hydrant, these are still appearing as cross. So what might be the reason for that? The reason for that is like your hierarchy is having all points above than the group that you have defined. So in that case, this will not change because it works on the hierarchy, like hierarchy system. All right. So if I select this point, you will see here that primary point group is given here as fire hydrant. If you can see the cursor, it is rotating here. So the primary point group is fire hydrant. So that means that the primary point group is being considered as fire hydrant, in which this FH is coming as description. Okay, I hope things are being little clear to you, because these are the essentials to understand, like how to create a point is very essential to understand, and how to export and import these points, because later on the bigger projects that you're going to work later on in your career will be based on that. If you're not knowing the point properties, it will be little hard for you to understand like how these label styles are changing, how these styles are being defined, and what are the different features. Even if I'm defining the features, why it is not taking these features. So there are the certain errors that may come. Even if I'm hovering my cursor over the point, you can see here that in Kogo point, number is 1, layer is 0, description FH, easting, northing, and all the list details are coming right here, right? So let's say if I change the hierarchy of the point group, so I have to go in edit points. So it will open a panorama of the, I'll just make it to not add. I'll just uncheck the allow docking so that it can be adjusted anywhere, like here. You can see here that all the details of the fire hydrants are being shown here, similarly to the similarly to the points which shown in all point grid. Okay. So all you have to go for point group and then go for properties, in which you can change the hierarchy of these things. If in case if you are putting all points at the top of fire hydrant, and apply. Okay, you will see that your object or your points has already been changed to like cross mark. And when you will select any of the point and you will see the property, it is shown as primary point group as all points. All right. Not just that, you can change their layer description as well, and their you can manage the points and their with their description, like the things that we are going to do now. So for that, I'll just change it the way it was. I'll go for property group and change the properties of fire hydrant at the higher level than all points. And in order to do that, I'll open another exercise file for that, so which is point description keys. In this, more 2 points has been added that I can do in that as well. So you will see here that 4 points are coming here, and in the point groups there are just one group which is all points. And in settings, if you go and within the points, there are different description key sets are there. So you will see here that there is IMV basic point is there, which is taken by default for all the types of point that you are defining. So you will see here that in this exercise file there are 4 points, in which 2 are fire hydrant, one is power pole, and the other one is oak tree of 24-inch diameter. So in description key set, if I'll right click and go for edit keys, you will see that the panorama will open. I'll just maximize it a little so that more things are visible. You can see here that there is code FH and OA. Oak tree has taken some description already, which means certain layers and certain label style has already been defined to it, and certain formats as well. So why do we need to define the description keys? The requirement of description key is you can manage the point style, point label style, and styles and formats, their parameter, their other feature, whichever things are labeled here, all the things at one place, and then you can define, you can make your points to have such properties in just one click. So that is why this description key editor is quite helpful. Okay, so how to apply these description keys to the points? You have to go in the prospector tab, and in prospector tab right click and apply the description keys. You will see here that certain points has changed into their different distinct layer, and our tree has also been shown here, which is the oak tree of 24 inches diameter. And but our power pole has not been changed, which means the description key for power pole point has not been defined. So in order to define a new description key, you have to go in the same description key editor, right click here, right click on any of the defined description key and add for new. Click on this so that you can define another one. So let's say PP. One more thing, this same here, it is going to be case sensitive. So this column is this row is also going to be a case sensitive, and this method is also going to be a case sensitive. So the inputs that you are giving, be it lowercase or uppercase, make sure that these are you are very well aware of that. So I'm going to place PP only, or I can put the asterisk also. So all the points which are going to involve which are going to have code as PP or the description as PP, the code is here referred to have as description. So whatever the points that are having PP as their description, let's say PP001, PP Z01. So if the PP is the initial letter, it will be included in it. Those points will be assigned to that description layer or description set. So for now I'm just removing this asterisk. Style, if you want to make it check, choose default style. It is going to be power pole. utility powerful cut. So you can choose just description, or what other things do you want. So if you want point, elevation, description, all, or if, for now we are going just with point description because of the two labels are also with point description only. You can see here that only description is being shown here, XFH and O24. So then comes the format, in which format it will be represented. So all the letters which are coming here like X, FH, whatever the things we are going to put here, if it is a part of like a word, it will be coming as it is. But if you're putting dollar asterisk or anything $0 then $1 $0 space $1 space $2 space $3, which means if you're going up to $3, there are four words which are having different which are having certain space between them. Like if I'll give the example, there is oak 24, which means it is the combination of two words. First word is oak, which is $0. In software language, our software going to recognize it as one word, which is going to be $0. Okay, then space, then $1, which is 24. So I can change this value here. Let's say I want to make it dollar $1 first, and I'm going to put certain sign here which is going to be inches, then space, and then $0. So since I have replaced $0 with $1, so when I refresh this description key set, it will be shown as 24-inch. Yeah, 24-inch, and oak will be coming after 24, and the scale will also be increased because I just changed this scale. I'll fit it to 1 so that the scale factor will change to 1. Okay, so yeah, after that you can define any different layer to it, keep it check, and then you can choose any layer. Like power structure. So whatever the properties this layer is having will be assigned to it. Scale factor parameter 1 is okay. So once it is done, go to your prospector tab, right click and apply description keys. So you will see here that 24-inch has been 24-inch has come after, since I mentioned here $1 inch. So inch sign I present inch sign I put, so inch sign is appearing here, and $0, which was the first word, is a coming after one after second word, which was $1. Okay, so I hope you would have understood it, and the same properties whichever layer we selected here has been defined to it as well. Alright, so that is how it is very simple for us to adjust the points. Let's say you have defined different types of description and different points. You can define all the points when you can define all the points in a certain label style and layer, or in just a few clicks. So that is why it is very helpful. Then comes like how can we scale it. Since I check the scale, I have to increase the scale factor of it to by oh, not this exactly. You have to check your because you're going to make the changes in the XY plane and the Z direction. So make sure that your apply to X and Y and Z is checked, and since you have placed the sign after $1 inch, so whatever the numbers that has been given by your surveyor, which is 24, and it will be considered as a dimension for the tree that has been defined. So since 24 is 24 inches you have defined, it will automatically be created as 2 feet diameter. So you just have to go here and apply description keys. It will be updated here. So you can see here that we have changed the description. We have managed our key points with description keys. So now let's talk more about survey databases, like how do we create survey database and how is it different from the drawings that we are creating in the Civil 3D. So you will see here that in your tool space there is another tab which is survey. So you can turn it off and turn on from here, and you can go to the survey tab right here. In that you will find that there is three or four things are there, which include survey database, equipment database, figure prefix database, and line work code sets. So database, how is it different from all the drawings that you are working with? It is different because we are defining it as a database to be utilized in any of the drawing that you are going to create in the future. It is independent of the drawings that you are working right now. It is not existing drawing based or the drawing that you are working with. It creates the data for that drawing, and it can be any drawing. Okay, it means that you are creating certain data that will be utilized right now or in the future any moment for any type of project. If you'll see here, if I'll right click, and there will be the option will be there that if you want to create your new local database or new local survey database, that is why that whenever the survey gives us the like suppose if you're running a company in which a complete different survey database is being utilized, so you can map the surveyor data with your company data, and it can be utilized for any type of project in your company. All right, so you can see here that if I click on this new local survey database, one dialog box will appear. Enter the name of the folder in which to create a new local survey database. So you can add it, give it a name. Let's say I'm giving Econstruct, and press OK. You will see here that my Econstruct database has been prepared within the survey database. So this Econstruct survey database is going to be the parent database for all the projects that I'm going to use this database for. Okay, so it can have the import events, survey queries, network groups, figures, figure groups, survey points, and survey points group. So if you're going to import the survey data, you will suppose if your surveyor has provided you certain points for the survey that they would have done. So in order to import that data in your drawing, you have to go into survey import event, which we are going to discuss in further moment. You will see here that survey database by default it is coming Econstruct, but before that there was no any survey data that was existing in the drawing, right? So that is the case there. You can define your own database in which all the things can be utilized for the further projects that you are going to do, and these all things, be it equipment database, figure prefix database, or line code sets, all are related to survey database, because survey database is a kind of parent data which is going to be utilized for the future projects or the current projects. So we'll come to this point in some time. Let's go with equipment database. You will see here that by default in figure prefix database, equipment database, and line work code sets, they will be sample by default. If you have not defined your own databases, be it equipment, figure prefix, or line work code, so it is going to use the sample for that. All right, you can check the properties. Right now there is nothing because the file itself is not open. So you can create your own equipment database also, but before creating our own, let's go with the sample and see the property for it. So go for manage equipment database. It will show like what are the different attributes are there for database, like what is electronic distance meter, what is the refractive index for that, what is wave constant, offset, and measuring devices. You can keep it to scope and other or non-scope. What is the prism offset, and this is the constants that are being taken here on the are the reference with the equipment that would have utilized for the survey. So what are the standard deviations? Units, since I have opened this Autodesk Civil 3D 2021 metric, so it is coming by default metric. You can change it to international foot or US foot. Alright, you can change the name of it You can add certain more data to it, or you can delete certain inputs if you don't want. If you want to create your own, you can add any other thing into this. All right, same comes with figure prefix database, in which you can what does this figure prefix database do? Whatever the elements or the points or lines or grading, whatever the survey that has happened will be shown in your drawing. You can define certain different types of layers. Like you can define the whatever the, let's say if the survey has happened, it is having some description key as sidewalk, or let's say oak tree, for example. So you can define those layers right here with the same prefix, be it SW for sidewalk and oak tree for TROAK. So you can define the type of break line that you are going to use. You can define the lot line you can going to use. You can define their layers, in which layer it will be created. So the moment, because when you will import the survey points in this through this survey database, all the things will be coming in the same database. All the things will be coming under same layer because it is a part of same database. So once if you want certain things to be visible differently in certain different layers, so suppose if there is a building which is coming in the survey, so if you want that building to be in the layer of buildings, or if there is some oak trees are there which you want to be in the layer of oak trees or in trees, you can choose their layers right here. You can check their styles and site. You can add the elements from here, since we are going to work on this in some time. So right now I'm just giving the introduction, a brief introduction about it. Line work code set works when it tells you like when and how the points in the drawing is going to be shared and viewed. Like if I edit it, what is their special codes that for beginning, what code you are going to use, for continue, what code you are going to use, for offset, horizontal offset, what code will be there. So how it is going to look in your drawing space or workspace, it defines by line work, and when and how, that too as well. Okay, and what will be the kind of, you will see here that feature and code, that the delimiter is space. So in the information right now it is coming name, because the figure prefix database is set to sample only. We have not defined any other. If there is existing one more, you can choose the values from right there. Okay, so that is what line work code set does. So we'll do the practice for the sample with the sample file. So for that I'll open a file. But before that, you can edit the properties and units for your database as well. But once it is defined and your database is saved in the local folder, that things cannot be unchanged. Like if I'm hovering my cursor over here, it is showing me like where is my database is being saved. It is if you can see the path, it is C user public document and Autodesk 3D projects and then Econstruct. So if I go to the same place, user public, what was it, public document Autodesk, C user public, where is the document, public document Autodesk Civil 3D. Then you can see here that here our database is being saved and our survey SQLite file is also being created. It is the same extension that we were using in the InfraWorks as well, if you remember. Yeah, so how you can change the properties for it? You can go for Econstruct and you can change the, you can manage the extended properties and you can edit the survey database settings. So if you go to the settings, there are all the things you will find in this screen. Like you can define the coordinate zones, and I would suggest you to use the same coordinate zone as has, I mean, the coordinates that has been used by the surveyor. So there are the complete list of all the countries and their different regions across the globe. So once you choose it, let's say for example, I'm choosing this time USA, Georgia. So you will see here that by default it has taken certain available coordinate systems. So whatever the coordinate system are available for that region, you will get the list of it. In this, you can use the different types of let's say NAD 83 Georgia West Zone US feet. So on the basis of that, the distance is automatically be taken by US feet, and the moment when you're taking any states from US, it will be set to US foot by default. You can change the temperature settings instead of Fahrenheit to Celsius and Kelvin, whichever you're familiar with, and pressure in inches or millimeter or millibars. Then the precision for angle, distance, coordinate, everything you can define here. What other things do you want or don't want? All right. So let's start with the practice file. In order to start with the practice file, you need to import the coordinates in the file. So instead of doing that, there are multiple ways to import the survey points into the drawing. Either you can right click, sorry, not here. Either you can right click here and you can import the survey data from right here. It will be taken you to the same import surface data specify database dialog box, or you can go to the survey point, and in this you can start adding the survey figure properties and survey point properties. Or you can go to the home tab, and in create ground data you can drop down it and you can import the survey data. Similarly, you will be going to the same database. So what I'm going to do, since I have already prepared this Econstruct, I'll just abolish this file and I'll open another file altogether, which will be having the none of the database together. It is a kind of like blank file because we have not imported anything, but before importing anything, there are certain properties that you can check to edit the survey user settings. Like if you will see here, these are the same settings that you were getting in the database settings. Apart from that, it is showing you the path also, like where the files is being saved. Like where the survey database default, it is C public program data Autodesk Civil 2020 ENU, and you can check the path right here. Where are the files are being saved? What are the interactive graphics? These are the colors by default that has been given. It is kind of same only. These are the user settings, survey user settings, and here are different options like survey preview window or like settings. In order to import the values or import the point into it, you go for survey data and specify the data source. So since we have already defined it as Econstruct, or you can create a new survey database right here. You can give it a name like Econstruct 2, even if it is not prepared, or let's say if your survey data has not been prepared, we'll start from the scratch. You can create your data source type like it is going to be a field book file or land XML file or points from drawings. So we are going to export from drawings. So select the we are going to select the file itself. So we are going to go in the exercise files. So here is the survey database. This we are going to open up a file. You will see that there is a survey data that has been taken for the same coordinates. So I'll open up it. Open. You will see that there are the specified point file format, which means that in what format do you want to see that. So E and Z is representing the easting, northing, and and then let's say PEN and ZD is representing point, easting, north, and zone description for that. So I'm going to choose right here so you can see here point elevation, northing, easting, and the raw description. The moment I'm selecting any of the other comma delimited, it is showing me the creation of the data table in which it will be coming in the survey point 10 point groups. Okay, so once it is done, once you have find out the way you want to make it visible in the survey points and survey group, go for next. Here are the steps. Your software is asking you to specify the network, like network for the survey that has been taken for the point. So I'm going to go with the default that surveyor has taken. So go with next, and in this you can change the any settings or import setting if you want to change it. Like I'm going to process the line work during the import, so I'm going to make it yes, of course, and import the survey points as well. Insert the survey points. So that is thing, and current line work code set is set to sample because we have not created any other line work code set which we will be creating in some time. So for now we are going with sample only. Similarly for this figure prefix database, because that is also still simple or sample here. So once it is done, go for finish. You will see that certain data has been come up. I'll close my property browser for a while, but still you will see that these are like kind of displacement between the points that has been come up. It is not showing any curves. I mean, for the circle it is showing first, and here some mishappening has happened, like for TB C2 point has been given to this, and CB1 it should have come in the same line, so we are going to correct this in some time. There is one building 1 rectangle 100, building 1B, so it is a block for the building. This is also building 2, this is curb, this is SW sidewalk. PT and PS are the, if you go for side this line work code settings, code set, you can define your own new once the point has been imported. And if you'll see in your Econstruct import event, you will see that there's survey data.txt file. And one more thing that I forgot to explain, like there are different types of file that you can import within the survey data. If I'll go for it, this one, the file that we chose, instead of .text file you can import .prn, .csv, xyz of nez, pnt and all files. So there are no such type of file, but you can, this can support, survey can be supported by such files as well. So I'm going to go with cancel for now. Alright, so in order to define the values or different layers for it, we will have to define the different fixture prefix database and different line work code set. If you'll see here, it is showing me the path where the line work code sets will be saved. If you go for the curve segment codes, begin curve is BC, end curve is EC, and circle is CIR, and point on curve is OC. But if you'll observe here, the file that we have opened right here, it is showing something different only. SWPT, which is for curve end, has been used, and SW sidewalk PC, which is for curve beginning, has been used. So how to map these things? We can change that, or we can define our own new as well. So go for new Unicode line work. Let's say I'm going to define it as Econstruct only. Econstruct line work set or set. So it will ask me to define the changes that I want to make. So instead of BC, I'm going to define it as PC for, and again these inputs are case sensitive, so whatever the inputs you are giving, lowercase or uppercase, it will be taken as it is. So make sure what you are giving right here. End curve, I'm going to give it as PT. Point on curve, I'm going to give PCC. Circle, I'm going to keep it as it is. Begin is B, continuous C, CLS, close. Or horizontal offset, let's say I'm going to define HO. Vertical offset, BO for example, and press OK. So we'll see here that right now still, if we have defined a different line work code set in our survey with respect to our survey points, still the sample is being highlighted, which means that the drawing that you are working in, still this sample file is being implemented in the drawing, not your Econstruct line work set. So in order to make it applicable in the drawing, you'll have to go in your survey data text, in which you can find all the network figures and survey points. So these are all the points that has been shown here. The thing that I was explaining, like how can you make this as implemented into this. So you have to go in the process line work. So it will ask you what are the figure prefix database you want to choose. So since figure prefix database we have not provided yet, we have just provided another line work code set. So I'm going to choose another line work code set to Econstruct line work set, and other things are fine. Go yes. So you will observe here that everything are coming, it is coming like spline, but still everything is coming in the same layer. And moreover, the things which was coming as something different, BC or something, the sidewalk curve beginning has been stated here as sidewalk PC, which I just changed in my uh, Econstruct line work set, and curve ending, which I changed to PT, and island PCC, which mean the point on curve. So it was a curve in which this point has also been taken by the surveyor. Okay, now we are going to define the different prefix database for different types of layer. So I'll go for figure prefix database, going to create new. Again, it is showing me the path that where it will going to be saved. So same way, I'm going to define it as Econstruct figure prefix database. So that is fine. Press OK. Again, the same thing is coming here. You can go for it, right click, manage figure prefix database. You will see here that, or you do not have to make any other figure database, this figure prefix database, any other new prefix figure database. Why? Because you can, even in sample, there is no layers that has been added, so you can either directly add into this, so that can be deleted. But since I have created, so I'm going to create my own new completely one, because the data that I'm defining right now can be utilized for anything. All right, so let's say I'm defining here for sidewalk SW. Again, these things are case sensitive, so whatever the inputs that has been given in the drawings, if you remember, give the name, exact same name right here, otherwise it will not map with those points. If you want to make the sidewalk as break line, you can go with break line. Lot lines, I'm not going to get. Layers, you can choose it for, if this thing is happening, you can move it a little so that a complete window can come properly. So sidewalk is going to be a concrete pavement. We have to find a layer for that. Yeah, we note pavement concrete. Or you can choose the style which you would have defined or your surveyor would have defined. Let's go similarly for add another new for building. BLDG. I hope for building it is shown. BLDG2. Okay, we can put that asterisk, so wherever it is coming, it will consider that building as whole. No, I don't want to make it a break line, so I'm going to choose another layer for building. Node building.
अर्निंग चाहिए तो लर्निंग करनी पड़ेगी, ज्यादा अर्निंग चाहिए तो ज्यादा लर्निंग करनी पड़ेगी। और लर्निंग के लिए ई कंस्ट्रक्ट मास्टर स्टडी ऑन जॉब प्रोग्राम्स है ना। अगर आप सिविल इंजीनियर है और अगर आपको कोर टेक्निकल प्लेसमेंट चाहिए सिविल इंडस्ट्री में, तो ई कंस्ट्रक्ट के ऑन जॉब फुल टाइम ऑनलाइन और ऑफलाइन ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स को ज्वाइन करके आप सिविल इंडस्ट्री में अपना पहला कदम रख सकते हैं। तो आज ही ज्वाइन कीजिए मास्टर स्टडी लर्निंग प्रोग्राम्स एट ई कंस्ट्रक्ट।